To understand what is happening at the front line, we spoke with the military expert and retired colonel Sergei Grabsky. So, hello, Mr. Grabsky. Thank you for joining us today. So, let's start. Selydove, what's so important for the occupants and why other towns have been torn apart, have been smashed, and Selydove is, I think it's still staying, not devastated city. Why?
Well, to understand what's going on in Selydove, we should understand the general concept of current situation and the concept of operation, which Russia tried to conduct right now. As of now, it is clear, and it has been declared already that Russian Federation determined a strategic goal for this operation to reach the borders of Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast. And as like interim goals of this operation is reaching to the line Pokrovsk, Kostantiivka, and Chasiv Yar. And until the second part of September, we observed quite intensive pressure of Russian troops in the direction of Pokrovsk. Then something happened. And what happened actually? Knowing well the methodology of planning, battle planning of Russian forces, we may assume, and it probably correct as a most acceptable explanation, I may say that Russian Federation tried to save and secure their flanks. Why? Because if you will glance on the map of the beginning of September in the direction of Pokrovsk, you will find that the Russian forces advances closer to Pokrovsk, and it was like a real threat of flank impact to that group of troops from Ukrainian side, and cut off attacking troops from the lines of communication. Moreover, it could cause to so-called operational surrounding, blocking of Russian troops there. That is why they must secure their flanks. What did they do? So it's clear they tried to save their flanks attacking the stronghold of Selydove, which was prepared by Ukrainian forces like a real strong district to allow Ukrainian forces to slow down and even stop Russian offensive over there. And it is also a very good, interesting observation because, if you will glance on map again, you will see that Russians are not able to conduct simultaneous battle actions and offensive actions in different directions. So even being in the position of, let's say, advancing troops in Donetsk direction, they're barely able to move and push the troops in one direction only. And that direction now is Selydove, to secure that grouping of troops, which is operating in a Pokrovsk direction. That is why, without solving that problem of Selydove, Russia is not able to continue their operations in the direction of Pokrovsk. And with that regard, they have to slow down, and they did it. They slowed down their offensive action in the direction of Pokrovsk and move all of military and battle potential of Russian occupants to the direction of Selydove, trying also, after quite successful operation in a location of Chukurino, it's a settlement in the Donetsk Oblast, where Ukrainian forces were not able to keep their position, to develop offensive actions in the direction of Kurakhova. So that is why we observe such intensive battle clashes in that section of the front line.
Okay, and what's next? Do you think if the Russian forces manage to reach the borders of Donetsk region, will they go further? After all, Pokrovsk is one of the cities on the border with Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, yes.
First of all, I beg your pardon, but to reach borders of the Donetsk Oblast, they will desperately need to advance, desperately need to concentrate their battle potential and concentrate a lot of troops there. Having such a, let's say, situation on the ground, if I may say, and behavior of Russian troops, I'm quite doubt that they would be able to advance quickly in the direction of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Also, it is not a big secret. You know, the issue of Russian Federation is they stuck in operational art or algorithms of battles from the middle of the last century, 20th century. And their strategy and operational planning is very well known for Ukrainian commanders. Because of elder commanders as we studied in the same military academy in military schools. That is why Russians are very, very predictable. And, you know, they found a very effective, as they think, algorithm of movement and advance or offensive, if you would like. And that algorithm called like mid assaults, which means that they mostly rely on infantry, which is huge but not unlimited resource, and less rely on armament and equipment. Because of, you know, it's we have like another trend, and that trend of this war called drones, which significantly minimize effectiveness of Russian armament and equipment on the ground. That is why, you know, it's based on like primitive, I may say, ergonomy as a science that a regular human may move and cover 5 kilometers per hour without any obstacles, I may say. So you may imagine how much time Russia will need just to cover those distances over there. And don't forget that Ukrainian armed forces will not be like spectators of all of it. And we aggressively and quite effectively resist all of their attempts.
President Zelensky is factually accusing Western partners of not supplying or the necessary weapons or in the necessary quantities, and therefore such losses, so city after city is being taken over the Russian forces or Russian troops, is because of this. And President Zelensky said that. How do you think? Is it true?
Well, it's I may say it is mostly correct. It is mostly correct. Why? Because we know we cannot play the game as Russia offered to us, and that game just to reach like a balance of forces on the ground. Logically, even from open sources, you may find that the Russian military potential is much, much bigger than Ukrainian one. So how can we achieve balance, and how can we effectively stop Russian forces on the ground? Well, having a more effective, more technological, more scientific armament and ammunition, I may say, to destroy not like troops which are in front of Ukrainian armed forces attacking their position, but to destroy command and control system, to destroy support and supply system of Russian forces on the ground. How can we achieve that? Using more, as I said, scientific equipment, long-range missiles, or massive using of aviation, and indeed some more productive and modern types of artillery ammunitions, as well as like drones as a very famous feature and a significant feature of this war. Indeed, in perspective, we may consider an option of using like aircrafts as the main counter-Russian offensive forces, but it will be in the future. Right now, it is about quantity. It is mostly about quantity, and you know, even now, in which bullet I am not agree with President Zelensky is that our Western allies do nothing. Listen, at the beginning of this dramatic situation on the ground, the average of and balance of artillery shells was 1 Ukrainian per 8 Russians. Now we achieve a balance 1 Ukrainian per 2 Russians. Russian shells. But it means that Western support was significant and very important for us, and still significant and very important for us. But nevertheless, it's a non-correct game. It's just like a dead end. Try to achieve like a balance on the ground. With that regard, yes. First of all, we need to get more weapon and ammunition to resist Russians effectively, and that ammunition must be an armament must be more advanced, comparing with Russian quite primitive from the mid of last century ammunition and armament indeed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.